So last week we released PCC version 10.5, and this one has several new features and enhancements that I want to talk about today. Many of these are perfect for supporting applications targeted for the eDiscovery process, and I'd like to take you through just a few of these features and explain how they are applied and the benefits for eDiscovery. Our agenda will cover 4 of these new features in PCC. First, we have made significant optimizations on viewing display time. Now, this is particularly valuable for large files, files that have like large images embedded in them, and also for CAD files. The second item adds the ability for you to programmatically have pre-selected search terms remain constant in the advanced search field. Now, this is very helpful when the legal team has to determine key search terms for reviewing documents for litigation and ensure that the team is researching the documents that are the team that's researching the documents are using the required key terms in their search. We've also added the ability to add header and footer space to a document and use that space for inserting important data such as page numbering, document source, or even you can even do automated bait stamping. And then the last item is annotation burning. Now, this allows you to burn important annotations during the discovery process and put those into a PDF, or you can print them out, and then you can present these during the core proceedings. And at the end, as Katie mentioned, we'll take some time for some of your specific questions. So with that, now before I get started, I do want to do a quick overview of what PCC is and how it's used. Prizm Content Connect, which is what I've been referring to as PCC, is a document processing service. Now, this service can be integrated and customized as part of an overall document collaboration solution. The integration and the customization of the PCC viewer and the services can be done using the PCC RESTful APIs. We talk about PCC as a viewer, but really it's a lot more than just a viewer. PCC provides the ability to convert, to view, to annotate, to redact, to search, and even sign a broad range of document and image file types. So the file types that are supported by PCC include document, CAD, web, email, text, and image formats. So continuing our industry-leading investment in the latest viewer performance, we have further optimized payload transfer from the PCC server to the PCC HTML5 viewer. We introduced something that we're calling polyline simplification algorithm. And I know that's a mouthful, but what that really means to you is that we're optimizing the image to reduce the size of the data that needs to be transferred from the server to the viewer. So the end result is much faster viewing time for the document to be displayed. So what happens with very complex drawings and large images embedded in documents is that it can slow down the viewing process as it's trying to render these documents. So we're optimizing the rendered image, but the trade-off can be the resolution of the image. So what we've also done is added the ability for you to configure the amount of optimization to obtain the best balance between viewing experience and image resolution. So how much optimization are we able to provide and still maintain image quality? Well, this chart illustrates the payload savings in image optimization from PCC version 10.4 to the new version 10.5. In many cases, the amount of data is reduced dramatically, and this significantly minimizes the payload and addresses issues with loading very large files such as CAD images of maps or files that represent maps. So what this boils down to is speed. The smaller the rendered file provided will improve the viewer speed without sacrificing the quality. And as you can see on these different file types that I've tried here or that I've tested, you can see up to an 85% decrease in data and the amount of data that has to be transferred from the server to the viewer. And this becomes extremely important, especially when you're viewing a lot of different files. So the next item is fixed search terms. So developers now are able to specify that certain predefined search terms are fixed in the search field dropdown. These search items are visible in the search list, but they can't be modified by the user. The search items will always remain highlighted whenever the document's opened, and they can't be turned off even when other searches are initiated. However, you can turn them on and off using the filter, and I'll show you that in a minute because I am going to do a demonstration of this particular feature that we've implemented. Now, although this was theoretically possible via the API, we've made changes to make it simple and easy to implement. This feature was requested by customers, and it's designed specifically for eDiscovery applications. Predefined search terms can be added in the search field dropdown, and that allows users to choose common words or phrases for search. The search words can be defined by the legal team. They can be programmed into the viewer by the developer as fixed search terms, and then they provide persistent hit highlighting of the terms in the document. Okay, so right now I'd like to demonstrate this for you. So give me just a moment as okay. So now what you're looking at is as a viewer, and this particular viewer is a .NET C-sample viewer. This is included whenever you purchase PCC. It's part of the package, but I want to kind of make note here that what I'm showing you is a sample viewer. You of course could create your own viewer, and I'm going to refresh this because I want you to see something. Whenever the document is loaded into the viewer, you can see that it goes out and it highlights these different search terms. And now if I go over and click on the search, and you see that here's a search box here, and there's a little push pin next to it. And that tells me that there's some fixed terms that are put into the viewer. And if I click the drop down, I can see there's paper, there's your company, and then there's a couple of letters there as search terms. Now, they are highlighted in the document. When I open the document, they're already highlighted. If I wanted to search for something else, let's just search for something pretty common in the document. You see that those terms that are part of the fixed terms remain highlighted, but then it added the additional search terms that I put into the search field. So now I can click on the filter. When I click on the filter, you can see here, these are the fixed terms, which I showed you in the drop-down. Here's the new term. And so say I don't want to take a look at these for a minute. I just want to see the new term. And so I can deselect those in my filter, and you can see now I'm only seeing the term that I just recently searched for. And then again, if I want to bring those back, all I do is just re-execute on the search. Or I can take out my own term, and then I just see the fixed terms that are in the document. So as I mentioned, this is a very, very valuable capability that you would have to be able to control the terms that your team is searching for, ensure that they're searching for the right terms, and also it's just a shortcut method too. If these are things they're going to be searching for all the time, then those are already in the system and they can see it as soon as they open the document. So another key feature that we added is the creation of headers and footers in the document. So PCC will expand the top and the bottom of a document, and this provides additional room so you can insert metadata. For example, you could insert the file source information, creation date, or other relevant information needed. The information can be burned into the document, so you can take an output or output it as a new document, like a PDF, which you can then take into court, or you could print a hard copy if using digital technology in a courtroom is not an option for you. You can define the positioning of the data in the header, left, center, right, and apply dynamic page numbering, such like, for example, like page 1 of 24, which would increment accordingly. It also supports zero padding, and what that means is you can automatically apply Bates numbering to your output documents. For example, it could say Jones 00023. So again, I'm going to switch over to a demonstration, and I'll show you how this is done. Okay, for this demo, I'm going to be using a different sample. And again, this is just a demonstration. Whenever you would implement this into your application, it would be automatic and you wouldn't see all of this code, but I think it's an interesting way to demonstrate it for you. So let me explain what you're looking at here. This is, like I said, a simple sample of doing conversion. Here is where you can drop a file and determine that file is going to be converted. Over here, this window just is going to dynamically update the code so you can see what kind of code is required in order to implement this feature. So I'm going to grab a document now. It's a Word file, and I'm going to drop it in there. And now you can see a little bit of the code has changed over here, and you can see here's my source file. I'm going to select an output of PDF. I'm going to apply a header, and you can see the content or the code updated over here. Here is the where the header gets inserted into the code. This first line here, this would be positioned left on the document. This line would be positioned center, and this line would be positioned to the right side of the document. And then footer, very similar code. Again, here I'm just going to insert some dynamic page numbering. So it's going to do a page count, page number of page count. And once I have this set up, I'm going to go ahead and click the convert button. And it takes just a few seconds to convert the document for me. And here is my converted document. So let me just quickly download that. And what I want to do, I could certainly open this up in PCC, but I also want to show or illustrate the compatibility with other viewers, this document that was created in PCC. And so now I'm looking at my document in Adobe Reader. And you can see across the top here, here is the header information that's been stamped on the document. And I'll scroll down to the bottom. And here you can see the footer information, page 1 of 4. And as I scroll through this document, you can see this is applied on every page, and the page numbering does increment as it goes on to the next pages. Okay, so the next item that I would like to talk about is annotation burning. Now, PCC already provided a complete suite of annotation tools. This included text commenting, image stamps, highlights, hyperlinks, polyline annotations, a whole variety of tools that you could do annotating with. Using these capabilities, your users can have a single tool set for marking up documents. They can search within annotations for content and keywords and utilize hit list. These tools are perfect for eDiscovery and other collaborative applications. With the release of PCC 10.5, we've added the ability to burn those annotations into PDF documents. This provides the ability to share annotations with users outside the system. It also provides an output document that can be presented as relevant case information in a court for eDiscovery applications, and it'll include the annotations and marks on the document. So let me demonstrate how simple and straightforward annotation burning is. Again, keep in mind the demonstrations are samples. How you implement annotation burning into your application can be automated or manual. It's strictly up to you on how you like this functionality to be implemented for your users. Okay, so now I've gone back to my viewer again, and you can see that there's some highlighted items in here. I'm going to go ahead and take the fixed search terms off. I don't want to use those for this particular demo. And I can go ahead and move over to the annotation tool. And so let me zoom out just a little bit so I can see more of the document. And now here's my annotation tools up here. And so let's say I want to strike through some text. I want to add some text to the document. And of course you can add colors and things to it. I can draw circles or squares on the document. I can put an arrow to something in the document and make some comments about that. I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit on the second page as well. Let's go back up to the top and let's put a stamp on this. Okay, so now I have my document annotated and I want to output these annotations. So you go over to this download button, and I can download as original document, but I want to do a PDF. and I want to include the annotations. Now, one of the things you can do is you can decide if you want to do all of the annotations, or maybe if they're just select annotations that you would like to output on the document, you can do that as well. And once I have that done, I can just preview, and I can see my preview of the document, and everything looks okay. My second page has its annotations, so I'll click download, and so now it creates a new document. So it's creating it as a PDF, and it's adding all those annotation marks that I just created into the document. And once it's complete, I can save that. And again, I want to go over to my download window, and I want to open this up, again in Acrobat Reader. So you can see the compatibility with third-party viewers, and there are my annotations in the document. So it's very straightforward, very simple, but yet it's a very useful tool for eDiscovery. Okay, so that is what I wanted to show you today. So, as I mentioned, these are just a few of the new features that are part of PCC version 10.5, which was released last week. We discussed optimizations on the document display time, which is particularly valuable for large files and files with large images embedded into them. We covered the ability to programmatically have pre-selected search terms remain constant in the advanced search. It's very helpful, allows the legal team to determine what key search terms should be followed when reviewing for document for litigation, and it ensures that the team is following those search terms that have been defined. We also added the ability to add header and footer space to a document, and then use that space for inserting important data such as page numbering and document source, or as I mentioned, bait stamping. And then the last item from today's webinar was annotation burning. So you can burn those annotations that are created during the discovery process and then print those out or create a PDF for presentation during court proceedings. So one other thing I'd like to mention, if you want to explore PCC and its capabilities further, go to Accusoft.com. There you can download a free trial of PCC. We also have many samples posted to our website. If you're interested in pricing, please contact us so we can evaluate your needs and provide customized solution pricing for you. There's also ability to purchase direct from their website for those of you that only need basic or single server licensing. And if you need help with understanding configuration and server requirements, please reach out to us. We will gladly assist you.